So today we're going to take a look at OpTic versus Xset across both maps, actually, because this game, I mean, if you watch my co-stream, you'll know this, I was so angry watching this game because it was so bad, particularly from Xset. I think OpTic played okay. I don't think they played well, to be honest. I think that they played okay. I'd give them like a 6 out of 10 for how they played. Xset, on the other hand, oh my god, it was bad. They would have lost to any other team in this tournament so far, because I think the quality of this tournament so far has been pretty good. But Xset, oh my god, this was bad. And I don't know if it was nerves or whatever, but even in some like basic scenarios, as we'll see in some of these clips, they just absolutely fumble them, very badly indeed. So it starts here with round 4 on Haven, okay? And what we've got here is, as you can see, it's not a great buy for Xset, but Zekken and Cryo do have rifles that they saved from the previous round, and they're going to start off, this round is going to start off really great for them, right? Where OpTic are actually just going to kind of group up C, they get Victor, that ult orb there, and eventually OpTic, this is something OpTic kind of like to do. It sometimes costs them, as it does here, but they like to like push the boundaries, right? How far can we just walk up before, they actually try and shoot at us? They try this a lot, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, right? And in this instance, it doesn't. I think it kind of helps them understand what a team is trying to do on the defensive side. So you see Zekken there, one of the players with a rifle, is able to catch out Crashies as he's jumping across, and then now they're in a 4v5. Ye is actually going to try the same thing, where he's just going to go for it himself as well, just try and walk up and see, can I just get the next kill back, and then maybe TP out. As you can see, his TP set up, but he dies to Cryo as well. And then we get this stun out, and eventually we're going to end up in a settled situation. But let me just quickly talk about what you should do, right? They're in a 5v3, so forget the guns. They should win this round no matter what at this point, right? They should always be winning this round. Let's talk about how you should play in a 5v3 when you have the advantage. Because essentially what you want to do is play retake on all sites. I know it sounds kind of weird and you might think that that doesn't sound quite correct, but essentially when someone taps a spike or plants a spike, that is info of where they are, right? And so basically that is all you're looking for in this 5v3. Because in a retake scenario, you should just be good, right? 5v3 retake, you have more utility than them, you have more people to trade than them. The guns shouldn't even matter. Even with classics, you should have a pretty good chance at retaking 5v3. Because that's just kind of the way the game works. But for whatever reason, in this round, Xset are going to mind-numbingly make mistakes where they just push onto site. Players completely on their own push onto site, and it costs them 2 kills, as we will see. So ideal positions here on like Haven, if you could just plant everyone in a position, you'd probably say someone playing like backside C here. I mean, maybe even jump peeking behind this box is fine as well. You'd probably want someone like Garage Window, who maybe can come back to look on this side of B as well. Where BCJ is now isn't a bad position, right? Just checking in onto B every so often as well. And then Heaven, I think, is a pretty good spot, or maybe back here, right? These are the positions that I would like to see Xset play in. And they do actually get into those positions somewhat. The problem is, eventually, this smoke comes down here, and for whatever reason, and I cannot understand this, Def pushes in to this smoke. I do not know why he does this, right? Because now he actually creates a problem for his own teammate. Because what happens is they have to stop watching C because he's done this. Someone actually has to come back and watch this because he's made this decision. Again, I don't know why they did that. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and he's going to pay for it. Also, Aaron here, for whatever reason, didn't decide to leave the site, right? He was here when I started talking about this and they got into a 5v3. He moved himself to the back site, which was correct. But then, once again, now that this smoke is here and BCJ is watching this, he just decided to stay. Again, I don't know why. It's a massive mistake. This should be so basic at this level. But for whatever reason, they don't do it. And guess what happens? This smoke, eventually, Mob is going to turn and find Def and be able to kill him. So they give them 1 kill for free just here. And then also, Aaron has decided to put down this own smoke and push it on the site. Again, not knowing where these players are. Actually, Victor is right next to him here, as you can see just there. And he dies as well, completely on his own. And so we end up in a 3v3. This was an unlosable round that they just decided to completely throw. But now even, I think OpTic aren't going to play this great. Marv actually misses the one-way smoke on this position here. BCJ only has a stinger, so he's going to go just running in. He also has no util either. And they actually trade the kill, but Victor trades it out well. But now, I mean, they don't fully know where Zekken is. That they know he started on C. He was kind of the C player, so they might expect that, he could come from quite a few different directions potentially. But for whatever reason, again, instead of playing with FNS here, Victor decides to run into this corner. Don't know why. They're then actually going to stun, but you see Victor actually peeks before the stun even goes off. So, again, don't know really what they're doing. Again, this is just OpTic trolling and putting themselves into a 1v1 for no reason. It just wasn't good. And eventually FNS will find the timing to come around the other side of the box, as Zekken isn't quite aware of where he is, and kill him with the classic there. But not a great round played by either side, but Xset in particular absolutely threw this round. Now let's come to round number 7, and this one didn't actually end up being a mistake, but it almost, I mean, I just have to show it because it's kind of crazy that this almost happened in a pro game at an international tournament. But here we go, because Cryo is, this is actually a save, other than Cryo has an op that he saved from before, and he's going to go and try and get this kill right there, but as you can see, he misses the shot, has to TP away, and he goes down to low health, and then eventually OpTic here, who I've just grouped up, they're just going to come in and hit the site, and it's a nice little site exec right there against a save. It's nothing like too crazy, you know. They come in, they get the kills, all of that, and you know, they're gonna plant the spike. All is well, right? And so we end up in this situation here. Spike goes down, Cryo goes back to save, he's running away, as you can see there. BCJ just has a judge, so he's just gonna, you know, sit out here and see what he can do with the judge. They actually flash him, and eventually they, you know, one will push him and try and die, but as you can see, the rest of OpTic have actually gone hunting a bit. Now Victor does eventually die there to BCJ, and Cryo's able to get one kill as well, but now we end up in a big problem, and we have to talk about FNS's decision here, because FNS, they now know that, you know, there's one guy here with a judge, and they've left one person on site to deal with it. So his choice is either do we continue to hunt down Cryo, or do I, you know, make sure that we win the round? And his decision is, well, I want to go hunt down Cryo. So you see, initially he starts to come back, and he thinks, nah, I'm hunting, and he runs away. And Ye actually manages to kill Cryo anyway, and I think actually had Ye not killed Cryo, they probably do lose this round, because what happens is BCJ comes out with a Spectre, he catches I don't know what Crashies is doing, to be honest, either, and he goes to try and defuse the spike. And so now there's a mad dash back on for them to try and get it, and had he not picked up the gun, actually, BCJ, they would have won this round, because FNS gets there just in time. And again, had FNS not hit a headshot with the first bullet, again, they would have lost this round. Again, just because of pure, you know, bravado, I guess, of almost everyone involved on OpTic there. And as I said, had they not killed Cryo, had Ye not hit that shot, I think they lose this round. Had BCJ not picked up the rifle, they lose this round. You know, had FNS not hit a headshot on the first bullet, they lose this round. It wasn't great, and thankfully, this didn't end up as a clip for them for the ages, where, you know, they lost hunting down an op and you know, got ninja diffused on. But again, it was kind of where this game was at. And now let's come to the worst round played at Masters Copenhagen by far, so far in this whole tournament, which is round 4 on Bind. Bind, I think, was particularly bad. Haven had its moments for being bad, but Bind, oh my god, this was an absolute terrible game by Xset in particular. But let's take a look at this round, which features mistakes from both sides. It actually starts off, I mean, this was the first part, right? The Xset just seemingly didn't know that Victor could get this quick into showers by double blast packing. I mean, even after they took a time out to talk about it, they still didn't seem to have a clue, and it ended up with kills like this being quite regular for OpTic. I don't know how they didn't adjust to this at all, but they really didn't, if you watch the whole game. But then we end up in a 5v4, right? OpTic in a 5v4, and so what that means is, ideally, you know, you're thinking, okay, there's either going to be a 3-1 stack on this side, right, on the side that's died, or they're going to be on a 2-2, right? And they know that the Viper's Pit is down here. So what did they decide to do? They see this Viper's Pit. There's still plenty of time, right? They can do really whatever they want. And they decide, right, this really long Viper's Pit where you have to, you know, run all the way in it, that's kind of impossible to get in. What if we just decided to run into it instead? You know, in this 5v4, right, where you don't need to do this, right? You know that max 3 are on the other side, and you'll be in a 5v3 if you push them max, and there isn't any help coming anytime soon if this Viper's Pit is over here, right? So you could take that decision if you want, or you could do what they're going to do here, which is, for some reason, send the Spike and 3 players into a Viper's Pit. And in a situation where, again, they have the advantage, there's no need to take this risk, they decide, yeah, let's take that risk. And so they don't even wait, right? They don't even wait for these guys here, you know, to potentially come behind, you know, and maybe, you know, attack the Viper from both sides, potentially, and make sure that they get this kill. No, these guys just run up and think, yeah, we can beat this. And two of them die straight away. Crashies has to run away. The TPs comes in. Trade comes in on Marved as well. FNS now, they're in a 2v3 because they made one of the worst decisions I think you could have. And now we're in a 1v3 after FNS pushes and dies there. And now from this point on as well, you know those things that sometimes teams do where it'll be like guess the rank, right? And you know, they'll show a clip, someone's best clip, and they'll have to guess the rank. I want one team to just sneak this clip in there and see what pro players guess if you just hide the names. Because at this point, I'm not sure you would be able to differentiate this from a silver lobby, as you're about to see. BCJ completely whiffs that shot there. Def decides, okay, let's not wait for Aaron here, let's just go on his own. Almost gives Crashies a second. Finally, he does decide to wait for Aaron there, but Crashies, this may be the one good part of it, does manage to kill Def. He fires an entire clip. They both just panic spray Vandals, right? That was a common thing in this 1v3. And then eventually, again, you know, he's going to fire 7 extra bullets here as he finally gets that last kill. Just purely terrible. This round was just, outside of maybe the first kill that OpTic got at the very start from the double blast specs, outside of that, this round was just pure chaos. It was terrible decisions consistently throughout for both teams, and Crashies gets, honestly, one of the worst 1v3s I think you will probably ever see in a pro game. But did Xset learn from their mistakes from before? No, they didn't. Let's come to round 9 and see the exact same things. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if this is worse or better or whatever, but they finally managed to sort out this shower stuff, right? Again, they kind of miss the Viper molly, but BCJ finally wins this fight, and Cryo finds Ye on the other side of the map as well. 5v3, unlosable, right? Can't lose this situation. They're even going to sky ult in this round and still manage to lose. Because what happens? Aaron, again, don't know why, literal no reason. Again, just wait for them to plant. You're in a 5v3. You should be fine. No matter what happens, you should be fine. For whatever reason, he's going to go pushing. I can't explain this. It doesn't make any sense. He just gives them a kill back for free. What he's doing, I don't know. But then it gets worse, because BCJ is going to actually pop the sky ult. The sky ult hits Crashies. Crashies gets hit by the sky ult. They know exactly where he is. Do they talk about it? Do they say, hey, there's a guy right by Jen, right? Hey, there's a guy right on default plant. Do they talk about it? No, because what happens? Zekken is going to go walking up here, doesn't even see him. Crashies is on his screen when Crashies is going to kill him. But they know he's here, because the sky ult hit him right here, and he hasn't moved. And Zekken, I mean, you might have just seen it on that little bit of the screen there. Crashies is on his screen. I mean, again, they're still in a 4v3. Why is he walking forward and taking this risk? I don't know. Doesn't make any sense to do even in the first place, but then they even knew where this guy was, but then that wasn't communicated at all, so Zekken doesn't know he's there. And he dies, right? And then we end up in a 3v3. How it can be this bad is just beyond logic. It's beyond logic that they could do this again, right? First time on LAN, maybe I can excuse the Haven one as being, you know, a bit of jitters, right? Not quite playing it right. We even got a whiff in there to just like add on to it, right? But this is just inexcusable. And then we end up in a 3v3, and eventually OpTic are going to manage to narrowly win this round. But yeah, I think, you know, I don't think I'm like, you know, being harsh here or overly harsh. I think that they deserve this criticism because this is truly quite bad. And as you see, eventually Crashies does manage to win the round on 3 HP, very close. But it never should have been that close because they were in a 5v3 and just threw again for no reason. And now let's come to round 12. And this one actually starts off okay. You know, this is quite an interesting round to start off with. Actually, it's going to be quick from OpTic, right? They send in Victor with the ult. He comes in, he gets early lamps control here. Actually they try and Brimble in response, but it's a bit off place. And actually Aaron manages to get one in that close corner, but then it's traded out. They actually get the Viper ult down, but a nice ult from Zekken trades that out. They actually go pushing here, trying to stay with the surprise, but Cryo actually has a Bucky and gets a kill. Crashes with a nice flash. He's going to get one. BCJ is going to trade out. We're in a 2v1. What do you think happens in this 2v1 from now, right? Are they going to play together finally, and are they going to learn from all these mistakes they've been making before? Or are they just going to go swing? Are they going to just, I'm a hero, I can go and do this all by myself? Yeah, that's what Cryo's going to do, right? 2v1. You have 2 flashes as well for BCJ, you know, to find out where this guy is. Maybe you want to flash him and then peek. No, Cryo just wants to dry swing. Let's just dry swing into him. Ye gets the kill. All of a sudden, it becomes a lot harder for BCJ. He uses a flash there. Ye takes the TP, and then as soon as this gun came out, I mean, they even had a chamber trap, right? So if they played in the 2v1, they still have this chamber trap here for Lamp, so it's possible that, you know, that would have slowed Ye down even if he did take the TP, and even then, you're still in the 2v1, would have been fine. But no, now as soon as Ye pulled this gun out, it was probably over for BCJ already, and he hits a really nice shot, does Ye? Of course he does, and they managed to win this round. Again, what's Cryo doing there? Don't know. Doesn't make any sense, and this was just, again, them just playing really, really poorly. But let's finish with round number 14 here as well, because apparently it was contagious, because OpTic decided to join in as well here, because they won the pistol. They actually won both pistols, but then lost both second rounds. The first one was a bit of, I mean, there were mistakes in there as well, don't get me wrong, but it was, you know, Cryo hit 2 nice shots, and that got them there. This one, again, we're going to see some decisions, I mean, again, even from both sides, that just, I mean, are so questionable, and are just like, I have no idea sometimes what was going on in this game. Starts off with this, where we had an early battle for showers, okay? And it starts off perfectly fine. Ye is actually, the first death is actually going to be Cryo, again, hitting a nice shot, but that's not what we need to focus on. We need to focus on Victor, because they're eventually going to get it back to a 4v4. So Ye is about to die sometime soon. To Cryo, who's just, it's just a battle on kind of a short there, and Cryo manages to win it, right? But the thing is, Marv comes streaking out here, and they manage to trade the kill out, right? The decision here to go pushing this, I honestly, against classics, why on earth would you decide to get this aggressive against classics? I have absolutely no idea. But Victor is just going to do this. He just runs in, dies, right? And then all of a sudden, Marv's left in a 1v2. He dies as well, right? What they're doing there, particularly Victor, I have absolutely no idea. They give them 2 free guns, of course, as well. So that's just like a nice added bonus. They see where FNS is, who actually manages to get out of a really difficult situation. He does really well here, managing to find Cryo. Nice Viper Molly there to stop them as well. He does really well, and we end up in this situation. Again, no idea what Victor's doing. Doesn't make any sense, particularly against classics, why you would choose to run out there when you know there are people there. What a terrible choice. But now we end up in this 2v3, right? And Crashy actually gets himself into like kind of an interesting little spot, right? That I don't think they would expect. And FNS actually gone rotating off to the other side to see if they've gone back. As we can see, they actually haven't. They're going to get the spike down eventually here, but Crashies is going to manage to get one there. Aaron starts going for the spike, and Crashies just kind of waits for a bit. Again, he could potentially wait for FNS. He doesn't, and he does actually die there. We end up in a 2v1. How do Xset decide to play this 2v1? One of them has a classic, one of them has a Spectre. Well, of course, why not just split up and play as far apart as you possibly can, right? Why don't we just play as far apart as we possibly can? Why would we ever try and, you know, potentially try and get back together and, you know, play together as a team? We have this Viper wall to shield us, to, you know, allow us to come back and play together as a team. But why would we do that, right? What could possibly be the advantage of playing together when one guy in particular is on 48 HP in a classic? Why don't I just go, you know, swinging on my own and try and find him and die there? And now you see FNS as well, right? Look at FNS here. He is solely focused on, well, they must be together, right? They must just be together. Why would they not be together, right? It wouldn't make any sense. 2v1, that guy has to be there as well. Of course he is, right? So FNS spends a lot of time just watching that. And even as he comes back down, you see he keeps looking back. He's very, very aware that, you know, he's probably behind. He does check showers just in case early on, doesn't see him. And now you're going to see he still thinks he's behind, right? Because why on earth would he not be? Why on earth would they decide to split up like this? Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Eventually he sees him, but the time runs out. And yeah, this was just kind of how this game was played, right? Just truly terribly in a lot of ways. Just team decision making wise, this was, I mean, by far the worst game that we've seen in Copenhagen. It was really bad. If Xset play like this again today against Leviathan, they'll get destroyed. Because they get destroyed by any team at this tournament if they play like this, to be honest. Because you can't afford to play this badly in situational Valorant like that in the year of 2022 and expect to win really any game.